A lot of the e-bikes I get for tests these days are pretty much the same. You know, they're just big frames with big motors. But this one from Tenways, I think from Holland, Amsterdam, is very unique. So we'll list it up and find out what's special about this bike and if it's the right one for you. What's up, everybody? FC here from E-MTB Review, and I have a unique bike right here. It's the Tenways CGO600 Pro. Kind of a mouthful. I'll just call it the Tenways bike. And this one retails for 1,900 bucks. Right now on sale for 1,500, 1,499. And it is a unique one. Basically, it is so simple. They say, you know where you have heard that saying, less is more. This is really what Tenways tries to play with. Less is more when it comes to commuter bikes. Less complexity, less weight, less shifting, less bulk. And really, they've executed a lot of vision that I've kind of wanted to see on an e-bike. And the biggest one is it's a single speed, 1 gear only. So it has a hub motor on the rear, and they said, okay, we'll make it simple, 1 gear only. And then it's a class 1 e-bike, and it has a 350 watt motor and a battery that you can barely see, 360 watt hours on this one. It has a torque sensor, very sensitive torque sensor to deliver a natural feel. Metal fenders, a pretty nice kickstand. Everything is first rate. Even the pedals that they include are low profile, have a nice grip. And then in the packaging, it was really impressive because I've never seen packaging like this. It's even fancier than, the Canyon or YT, these $8,000, $10,000 mountain bikes that I get. It's very well protected. Everything is very well organized and it's easy to assemble. So that's kind of what struck me. I go, wow, it really looks like a bike. It rides like a bike. The light is integrated right here into the head tube. The tail light is just a clip-on one, and the remote on-off switch is with computer is so discreet. I wish I had this on all my mountain bikes. Something this simple, the basic information, but not in the way. So very well conceived bike. So they're saying, okay, we'll give you kind of what you need to get commuting, a class 1 e-bike to 20 miles an hour, no throttle, and basically the concept here is most people, they don't need a lot of gears. Why do you need gears if you're in a very rolly, flatty area? It's to start and stop at a stoplight or a stop sign. But the motor does that for you. And so, I find that I really don't have to shift gears anymore. I just have a nice motor assist and then I get going. No need to shift gears. That's when you crunch your gears anyway. The second reason you need gears is because you have steep hills. You have steep hills, you just need gears, to get up. So they kind of trying to hit the market in the middle and saying, hey, we'll give you a simple machine that will do most of what you need, most of what most people need, and then everything will be simpler, lighter, less fuss. So that's what I did on my test riding. So I'll show you some test riding. I'll walk you through it, and I'll tell you what I liked about it, and then I will tell you what I don't like so much about this bike. All right, here's the Tenways bike with the motor off. Put it on level 1 out of 3. And level 1 is significant. Feels really good. Level 2. Level 2 feels good. All right, we're now on the main road, so I'm gonna try level 3. And it is pretty smooth, pretty easy, and it hits 20 miles an hour right away. For those who are curious if you can go more than 20 miles an hour, I tried reducing the wheel size configuration, and I was able to go about 23 miles an hour. The speedometer was off, but I couldn't go much faster than that, so I just returned it back to stock. Alright, so I'm going to go up the steep hill, so we will do level 3 for that. Keep our speed, climbing at 17 miles an hour. And like a single speed, if you get off the saddle, maintain momentum, it does very well. And we're climbing at 13 miles an hour. Some steep stuff. And no gears. So your gears are try to get momentum. Zero speed. This is motor and rider. Struggling as one. Normally you could use your handlebars for leverage, but these are pretty short and high. But we made it. Alright, as you can see, this bike is a dream on the flat roads and rolling hills. On steep hills, it's a bit of a grind, but it is perfectly possible if you want to pedal and you are a bit athletic. Those are very steep hills that I tackled. High gearing, optimized to reach 20 miles an hour, but the motor can help. So I'm really pushing the boundaries here of what this bike can do, and now I'm doing some trail. And here I'm finding out that hey, it is pretty comfortable. It's got a rigid fork, hardtail, but everything is well constructed with metals that absorb shock, so it's not harsh like other cheap bikes. Very nice riding bike, even without suspension. And the tires at 40 millimeters offer good comfort and grip. And right here, it's just a cool bike, a cool bike that's usable for most consumers, and for athletes they can push it, kind of like a mini gravel adventure bike. That's very simple, because let's face it, you know, other bikes are good, but if you are going to the office or to school every day, it helps a lot if you have assist power. It allows you to choose your workout, maybe not sweat in your nice clothes too much, maybe carry a backpack, your laptop, and some heavier loads, or maybe do a longer commute. So this really extends the wheelhouse of a commute bike. At the same time, it's fun, it's cool looking, and when you see the occasional hill like this one, totally doable because of that stealthy but powerful motor. So heavy gearing, no doubt, but a capable machine, and kind of a fun adventure bike for your neighborhood, for your gravel roads, aside from your frequent trips to your errands and your workplace. Brakes are nice. The grips are very firm and secured. Cables are neatly tucked in. The fenders, you know, they don't have to be there if you are not going to ride this at all in the rain. Kickstand's kind of nice to have if you're gonna do a more gravel, dirt. Maybe that can be left off so it won't rattle. The brakes are excellent. Had no problem at all on these very steep downhills. I didn't climb this hill. I don't think it's climbable with this bike, but the hills I'm descending are quite steep. So, you know, bike is not for everybody. Being a single speed and not totally heavy and full powered, but it's cool. And now I'm gonna, for my last part of the test ride, I'm gonna put it on a single track, you know, a real single track. And this part is fun. You know, you don't have a chain rattling, no derailleur. It's just a simple machine with a little motor assist that can accompany you in many adventures. Thanks a ton. All right, what do you think of that ride, huh? I really pushed this machine to some trails, and it was, what is great about it is the mantra less is more, because there's less complexity, there's more simplicity, more riding. You know, you can ride it with the motor off, but riding with the motor on is really a pleasurable experience. You know, there's not a lot of rattle, you don't need to grease the chain, it just works. So I think for a lot of people, this is gonna help them out. You know, if you're just commuting to work, to school and whatnot, this is pretty darn good. The brakes, everything, the fit and finish is very good. You know, 40 cm or millimeter tires. You know, it's kind of a road tire, but it also serves as a gravel bike. So I took it to the ground. It handles well. It's comfortable. You know, the chain stays. You know, these don't beat you up. You know, these were designed to be to have a real good ride. The motor is dead quiet. Dead quiet. I've never really experienced a motor like this, even very expensive ones. I just could not hear it. It's crazy. And then it has a bunch of torque too. You know, as long as you can spin it a little bit, it was pulling me up those hills. So that kind of is, you know, the beauty of it, the packaging, the instructions. So the quality is first rate. All right, what are the things, some of the things I didn't like? So I think it didn't bother me so much because I knew this was a special purpose machine. I think the fact that it's a single speed and belt drive might bother some people. You know, if you have hills, if you want to go 30 miles an hour, you know, this is not going to do it for you, because it's just kind of the rolling hills, and 20 miles an hour is its sweet spot. The belt drive, you got to understand, it has a little bit of drag, more drag than a chain. There's a reason why these are not pervasive. And so if you want the most efficiency, if you want to ride it without the motor on, there's going to be some drag that you're going to experience. It's just very, very tight, and that's so it never slips. Another con is the adjustable stem. I did not like. It's kind of does not look good, and it's too long for me. I was just super extended like this, so I put it up, but then it just kind of odd. I wish it was shorter, and I'm not sure I'm digging the adjustable side of it. Another con for me is the taillight. The taillight is an add-on. You know, it's just a little rubber thing. It's just like a little $5 thing with a battery. It's not connected to the main battery at all, so you have to replace the battery, and it just looks kind of an add-on. The headlight is beautiful, with one caveat, which is it is always straight. It's aimed where your frame is aimed, as opposed to where your handlebars are aimed. And you know, usually, unless it's a very wide beam, I prefer to aim where the handlebars are aimed, because you know, if you have a lot of twists and turns, it can show you where you're going when it's very dark. And then just a very slight con is the display was all metric. I had to read the manual and whatnot to get it to display miles per hour. So it shows its European roots. But as a whole, I'm pretty happy. Oh, the price is kind of high at $1,900, $1,500. A lot of you guys might think, oh, that's still high, but this is like a different level from, you know, the traditional American bikes and the Chinese made bikes. It's a different level of quality and a nicer riding experience, and a very good package. The display, like I said, is just wonderful, and the brakes, everything just really well adjusted. So there you go. It's not for everyone, but for the discreet buyer who kind of knows, you know, the city slicker that is not in San Francisco, very steep hills, I think this will fit the bill quite well. Thanks a ton, everybody.